Okay, Professor Mukesh Patel back. Let's talk about additional resources, legal resources for startup founders and startup and small businesses. There are a number of websites that offer really high quality resources. One is Rocket Lawyer, where you can connect with a qualified attorney for personal or business matters, and sometimes they have free resources as well, like on the bottom, create legal documents, ask questions to a lawyer. You can get initial consultations. You can also incorporate through their platform. A good site to find qualified attorneys in the United States is upcounsel.com. It is really a modern way to get your legal work done and have your own legal department, as they say. So they have a network of experienced attorneys. You can post your question or select the type of work you need done, and it will connect you to one or more counsel. You can do typically an initial free consultation and either negotiate an hourly rate or a fixed capped rate. I like to do that because then you know that for this legal matter, it's going to cost me X dollars, no less, no more. If it gets more complicated, it could go higher, but typically I like to have a fixed budget for legal services. And you can restrict your search to a certain state, local, or national. Talk to a few attorneys. Sometimes an attorney outside of your state may be qualified to represent you in corporate, legal, business matters. So it's okay to talk to a few attorneys, one in your state, maybe one outside of your state, and get that experience. A great resource is called Founders Workbench. This is a site for founders to build on their ideas, from forming an entity, financing, operating, hiring, growing, and protecting. It has a great feature called the Document Driver. It asks you a few questions, and based on your answers, it will generate for free the initial kit of legal documents that you need to get started. Maybe the first 5 or 10 documents that you need. It also has a capital calculator to calculate liquidation and dilution scenarios, and a deal dictionary for key financing terms and startup terms. So take advantage of this. They have great resources. This was designed and built by a credible large law firm called Goodwin Procter. So Founders Workbench, fantastic resource. Another similar resource is called Cooley Go. This is the law firm of Cooley, another large law firm that has the expertise in securities, startup and business law, and contract law. They have guidance and resources and a document driver as well. And many of these sites will talk about events and conferences where you can network in addition. Third one for great resources for entrepreneurs is called Auric. They have insights and a whole community for technology startups, including a startup forms library and a term sheet creator to practice the negotiations or understand the terms of a term sheet. Gust is another platform where you can incorporate your company, raise capital, connect with your investors with all the required documents, including things like the 83B tax election form and things like that. They do have a subscription model, software as a service. Stripe Atlas is another platform where it can give you the tools needed to form your company and make it a simple, cost-effective process. So compare all these options and platforms, test them out, maybe do a free trial or leverage their free resources, talk to customers that have used them. Y Combinator, one of the top accelerators in the world, known as YC for short, has some great resources, including Startup School. So if you look up startupschool.org, that's a Y Combinator initiative. There's multiple modules similar to these where you can learn about what a Silicon Valley-based startup typically goes through for education. And they also have a resource where you can connect and find a co-founder or other resources as well. There's also the National Venture Capital Association, known as NVCA, which has a number of resources, including research, ecosystem resources, and term sheet generator and investor document toolkit that explains the key terms and what's considered best practice. So you can learn the nuts and bolts of venture capital through their VC University resources on their site. Lastly, look at your local law schools in your state where you do business. For example, in the state of New Jersey, Rutgers University Law School has numerous clinics. There's a community and transactional law clinic. There's also an IP law clinic, and the one I'm affiliated with is the Entrepreneurship Law Clinic. We have it both in the Newark campus and the Camden, New Jersey campus. There's a link to the application and details below and their website. Take advantage of this because you can qualify for free legal services by third-year law students who are participating in the clinic under the supervision of experienced legal counsel, typically senior legal faculty and partners in law firms that represent startups and emerging growth companies or tech companies. So you're going to get relatively high quality services. The only downside or constraint is that these clinics typically operate on a school calendar basis. So fall semester, September through December, then they take a 1 month break, spring semester, end of January through end of April or early May, and then they are typically closed in the summers and during campus shutdown periods. So need to be a little patient during those time periods, but a great resource. Other law schools in other states should also have similar clinics, such as NYU Law School, UPenn, Brooklyn Law, Fordham Law. So check it out, talk to a few law schools, see what clinics are available, check out their websites, and leverage it if the timing works for you. Hey, you can't beat free legal services. And the last slide here has all the links to the sites that I've mentioned in this legal toolkit of additional resources that can be extremely valuable. You know, it wasn't long ago where to get these documents and forms and legal resources would often cost $10,000, $20,000 in legal fees to get. And now you can get the same high quality documents and guidance for free, and then leverage your law firm to maybe review your set of documents, which should cost you less for them to quickly look at these standard documents and give you customization or feedback or any specific legal Q&A, as opposed to like generating them from scratch or negotiating them in an extensive negotiation. So sometimes leveraging both free resources and paid legal counsel is the best ideal strategy to get best of class feedback, guidance, and best practices. Good luck.